name is Carla Jackson. I'm reporting for Anatomy 2 lecture. And the new question in the medical world is the web and technology driving us mad. In less than the span of a single childhood, Americans have merged with their machines, staring at screens for at least 8 hours a day. More time than we spend on any other activity, including sleeping. Teens fit some 7 hours of screen time into the average school day, 11 if you count time spent multitasking on several activities. Now, this is also between several devices. So they're saying the time someone spends between checking their text messages, checking email, and also using the computer. Now, smartphones outnumber the old models in America, and more than a third of users get online before even getting out of bed. Meanwhile, texting has become like blinking. The average person, regardless of age, sends or receives about 400 texts a month, 4 times the 2007 number. The average teen processes an astounding 3,700 texts a month, double the 2007 figure. And more than 2/3 of these normal everyday cyborgs, and cyborgs is, remember back in 1996 where they had a little movie showing some guys with some keyboards like flipped on their eyes. They had some keyboards in their backpacks and back pockets, and they were calling themselves cyborgs. So now they're saying we are the actual new cyborgs, and almost everyone is a cyborg. So everyday cyborgs, including myself, report feeling their phone vibrate sometimes even when it's not ringing. Researchers are calling this phantom vibration syndrome. Altogether, the digital shifts of the last 5 years call to mind a horse that has sprinted out from underneath its rider, dragging the person who once held the reins. No one is arguing for some kind of Amish future, but the research is now making it clear that the internet is not just another delivery system. It is creating a whole new mental environment, a digital state of nature where the human mind becomes a spinning instrument panel, and few people will survive unscathed. This is an issue as important as unprecedented as climate change. A pharmacology professor at Oxford University who is working on a book about how digital culture is rewiring us. Her name is Susan Greenfield. And she says this is not for the better. Now, this could create the most wonderful world for our kids, but that's not really going to happen if we're in denial and people sleepwalk into their technologies and end up glassy-eyed zombies. Does the internet make us crazy is the question. Not the technology itself or the content, no. But now a new article and study is showing a review of findings. More than a dozen countries find the answer pointing in a similar direction. Peter Wimbrell, the director of the Seymour Institute for Neuroscience and Human Behavior of UCLA, argues that the computer is like an electronic cocaine, fueling cycles of mania, followed by depressive stretches. The internet leads to behavior that people are conscious is not in their best interest and does not leave them anxious and does not make them act compulsively. So actually, there's like 2 studies, but the main thing is pointing that there's a fear of technology. Fear that the internet and mobile technology contributes to an addiction, not to mention the often related ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, and OCD disorders, has persisted for decades. But for most of that time, the naysayers prevailed often. Well, what's next? Are you going to say microwave abuse and chapstick addiction? But no, the Diagnostics and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders have never included a category of machine-human interactions. But that view is suddenly on the outs. When the new DSM is released next year, internet addiction disorder will be included for the first time, albeit an appendix tag for further study. China, Taiwan, and Korea recently accepted the diagnosis, and began treating problematic web users as a grave national health crisis. In those countries where tens of millions of people and as much as 30% of teens are considered internet addicted, mostly to gaming, virtual reality, and social media. The story is sensational front page news. One young couple neglected his infant to death while nourishing a virtual baby online. A young man fatally bludgeoned his mother for suggesting the mother told him log off the internet, and he killed her. Then what he did was he took her credit card and racked up more hours online. At least 10 ultra web users serviced by one-click noodle delivery have died of blood clots from sitting too long. Now the Korean government is funding treatment centers and coordinating a late-night web shutdown for young people. China, meanwhile, has launched a mother's crusade for safe web habits, turning to the approach after it emerged that some doctors were using electroshock and severe beatings to treat internet-addicted teens. There's just something about the medium that's addictive. This is coming from a psychiatrist at Stanford University School of Medicine, where he directs the Obsessive Compulsive Disorder Clinic and Impulse Control Disorders Clinic. So basically, there has been many patients who have no history of addictive behavior or substance abuse of any kind. They're now, though, becoming addicted to the internet. So with this being said, basically these studies are going on worldwide, and this is becoming something that's becoming a worldwide problem. What we need to do, close our internets, and we have to log off. And not only for a couple of hours while the laptop or the iPad is charging, we actually have to log off for a couple of days. If you find yourself being so drawn that you can't do that, like especially when you're out with your family and you're so stuck into like a cyber world, that is definitely signs of addiction. So that's an update in the medical world from me. Thank you so much for your time.